So, hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Rohit Kumar. I'm a data engineer in AI analytics team at US-based credit rating agency. Okay, so today we will learn about how we can use UDF in PySpark. UDFs are nothing but a user-defined function which can be used with Spark functionality. So to do that, we need some prerequisites. So Python basics will be required and PySpark basics will also be required. Okay. So now let's start. What is UDF? UDF is nothing but user-defined function, which can be a custom function in Python, and it can be used in PySpark data frame when the built-in Spark function are not enough to get the result. Okay, so what are these Spark built-in function? So it can be lower, upper, concat, when, otherwise, etc. So where we can use these UDFs in Spark. So basically, if we are using external Python library, it can be very useful. And let's say if we need to work on some custom logic or like domain specific logic, if we need to implement, we can use that, and some custom text processing as well. And there are multiple different examples or instances where we can use that. But the main crux is if the logic is not very straightforward, if it is a little bit complex, and it can only be represented in terms of Python functions, then we can use UDFs. Okay. Now, what are the advantages? Okay, so as I've told you earlier, custom and complex Python logic, we can use that. And then it's a reusable function. Let's say we have defined one UDF, we can use it in our whole code and wherever we want. So it provides more modularity in our code. Then flexibility. So any Python code will work here. Disadvantage is the UDFs are slow than native PySpark built-in functions. Okay, so wherever you get the chance, just use PySpark built-in function, because these functions are made for that, and the optimization will happen on only those built-in functions. So that is why using Spark built-in function is a smart choice here, because it will be very faster. And as this UDF can have like different structure, or like it can do different things, so that is why the catalyst optimization will not work here, and it will be very harder to debug and test the code functionality. Let's say if you get some error, it will be very harder to debug, like where the error is coming from. Okay, so now I think we are done with our theory part. We can move towards the practical, like how we can use that. So first of all, the step one is we have to create a Spark session. So for that, let me just copy paste libraries and the boilerplate code for Spark. So here you can see that there are some relevant libraries and modules are there which we'll be using in this exercise. So here we are using the UDF, and we'll also be using some of the types as well to define the return type of the UDF. Okay, then there is this math function we'll be using for calculating the square root, and this another library is Vadar sentiment, which will be used for sentiment analysis. Okay, now just let's run it. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so just ignore these warnings. Yeah, if you can see this, your Spark session has been created. Job stages, yeah, everything is created. Okay, now now okay, the second step is we need data, right? So okay, we'll create some sample data. So here we have the data. So I've defined the data here in the schema. So once yeah, let it run. Yeah, it's running. Yeah, here you can see that the data frame has two columns, ID and value. And value, it is having a float type. So yeah, so in our first example, what we'll do is we will get the square root of this value column. Okay, so for that, what we need to do is we have to write a custom function. So let's say I name it as get square root. It will be taking the number, and it can be a float type, and it will return also a float. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll return the math dot square root of that num. Okay. Now let's just test it if it is working fine. Get square root. Let's say we want to get the square root of 4. Let's see. Yeah, it's 2.0. So it's correct. Let's go for 2 as well. Yeah, it's working fine. So now we have created the Python function. So this is just the Python function. Okay. We need to convert it into a UDF to calculate square root. So there are two ways to convert a simple Python function into a UDF, which we can use in PySpark. So, first way is, so it's just calling the UDF functionality. So in UDF, the first argument is the function name like this, and what is the return type of it. So return type, let's say I will be taking it into double type. It's nothing but just a, you can say it's a float only, but it has more memory. So with that, you will get more precision in your answer. Okay. Yes. So this is how we have created the UDF. Now we have to store it in some variable square root. Let's say I just name it as gets square root UDF. So here we have the UDF. Okay. Yes. Now we have to apply that UDF on a on value column. Okay, so how we can do that? It's just simple. We have to use the with column function. Let's say square root of value. Then we can just directly call the function here, and we can call on which column we have to apply that. Okay, so here it is value. Now let's say I just assign it into a DF. I'll just overwrite it. So here you can see that it should have the square root. Yes, see, correct. The square root of 4 is 2, then 2.0 is 1.414. Okay, so this is correct. Now we can take another example. So this is the second example. Get the sentiment score with VADAR sentiment. So VADAR sentiment is nothing but a library, which I've told you earlier. In that, we just have to give the text, and it will give us the score, and then we can get the flag as well. Okay, so let me just quickly copy that. Yeah. Yes. Okay, let's run it. Oh, now you can see that this it has three columns: ID, amount, and review. So we have to work on this column, the review column, where I have to get the sentiment score, and then we will be getting the sentiment flag as well. Okay, so how we can get the sentiment here? So like how we can create the UDF? First, we have to define it as a Python function. It's a simple Python function. Okay, so okay, like let's say so this water sentiment works as like we have to create an object of it, then we can use it. Okay, so water sent 1 second. Oh, it's a sentiment analyzer. Sentiment analyzer. Oh, I've called it. So now we have to first create the object of it. Here we have created the object of the analyzer. Creation of analyzer object. Okay, now we can create the function. We can create it like get sentiment score, and what it will take a text, and it will be of type string, and the return type will be the float, because it will give us the score of it, score of the sentiment. So how we can do that? We can in analyzer there is a polarity score. We can use the polarity score functionality here uh, to get the score of it. Okay, and we will be passing the text here, and in that there is this key that we have to use to get the we have to use that key to get the score. So here we can just simply return here. The next step is we have to create a UDF. Okay, so for UDF creation, let's just use the first way itself, which we have used earlier. For second way, like we will be using it to get the sentiment flag based on the score. Okay, so how we have created the UDF, we have to call the UDF functionality, then we have to give the Python function, and what is the return type of it? Again, double type. The return type of it will be a double type because it will give us the score in floating point. Okay, now I can just give it name as get sentiment score UDF. Yes, and once we have created the UDF, we can directly apply it on the column. Applying on text column. Oh, it's review. If I can type it right, review column. Then DF, again same with column. We have to give a new name for it. Sentiment score. Let's just go with that. Then we have to call the function get sentiment score UDF. Then call the column. In this case, it is review. Okay. Now I'll just assign it into a different in the same data frame to just override the previous one. Now just check how it is looking. See, this is correct, right? So if for the first review, I love this product, it should be positive. So if you can see it's a positive value and it's a very high value. And here you can see this is okay, nothing special. It's a negative value, but if you see it's around 0, right? So it's a little neutral value. So again, these are some positive. This is negative. I hate this, very disappointing. If you see here, it's a negative value, but it's a very strong negative value. If you see the absolute value, it's 0.8. So it should like we should get the uh, flag here as negative sentiment. Okay. So now there is a second part. So what we'll do is to just strengthen what we have learned, we will use the UDF functionality once again, but in a different manner, and we will apply that onto the sentiment score column so that uh, we can uh, we can get the flag for it, whether like it is positive, negative, or neutral. Okay, so the first step is just create the uh, Python function. Okay, def get sentiment flag, and what it will take? It will take the score, and it can be of float type. And what it will return? It will return string. So let's just make a simple function. If the score is greater than 0.5, then we will return positive. And if the score is less than 0.5, then we will return the sentiment is negative. Okay, and else we will return it's neutral. If it is between minus 0.5 to 0.5, we are saying the sentiment as neutral. Okay, so that's done. Remember, I've told you like we will be using a second way. and make it as UDF with second method. So it's very simple. We just have to call UDF functionality as a decorator. And here we just have to define the return type of it. So it will be a string because it will be returning a string, positive, negative, neutral. So with this this decorator of UDF, we when we will run this, it will return a UDF, okay, of this name. Okay, now we can directly apply that onto the sentiment score. Okay, so df, again same with column. Then we have to assign some different uh, column name, which will be sentiment flag, and let's just copy it from here itself and call the column, and we'll just copy it from here on. Let's just show it directly here. Let's see how it is working. If it is working fine. Yeah, it's working fine. So first is positive. See, this is the second one. This is okay, nothing special. So it's a little neutral. And if you see here, the sentiment score is lying between minus 0.5 to 0.5. So hence it has assigned it as neutral. So it's working fine, right? So then, yeah, this is how we can use UDF in PySpark, and we can define it in two different ways. Now let's say we want to use it in the spark.sql functionality. Okay, so for that, what we can do is we can register this UDF function as a Spark, you can say Spark method or Spark function. So how we can do that? We can simply register the UDF with spark.udf dot, I think, register. Yes. Then we have to give some name. Let's just give this sentiment. Let's just change it a bit so that you can identify how it is working in the Spark SQL, and you can differentiate how it is working in the native PySpark code and the Spark SQL functionality. And yeah, we can give the function here. Yes. So we have registered the function, registered the UDF for spark.sql functionality. Okay. Okay, so one more thing here is we have to define the uh, this data frame as well as a SQL table so that we can use the Spark SQL functionality. Let's just register the data frame as SQL table. So for that, it's simple. We have to just write create df.create. I'm just writing it as a simple temporary view. I'm not writing it as table. I just have to we just have to check like whether it is working with Spark SQL or not. It can work with Spark table as well. That's not an issue. So let's just first go with the Spark temp view. Okay, for the table. And so let's just name it say product review. I just product review table. Okay, so it will register it as a product review table. Now, yes, now we can use the Spark SQL functionality. Now, just first, just do the um, select star and see whether it is working fine or not. Yeah, see, it's working fine. Now we have to get the sentiment flag. So for that, what we will do is we will, okay, first we will use the this get sentiment flag. Let's just check if it is working in Spark SQL functionality or not. Yes, yes. Now we can just sentiment flag here and write it as sentiment flag. Okay, see, it has given some error. And if we go through the error, it should say this get sentiment flag does not exist, something like that, unresolved routine, right? So this get sentiment flag is not there. Why it is not there? Because we haven't registered it. And what we have registered sent flag. Let's just check with that if it's working fine. See, it's working. So now you can see like how we can use the UDFs in different ways. So with this, I think we are done. And so if you like that video, uh, if you have understood how UDF works, please give it a like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And happy learning.